previously this. So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna give it a few attempts on screen, and if I am not successful, then I will continue to attempt until I eventually catch it, and then just cut back when I do. But I figure we'll give this a few shots, so get in the paralysis, and then basically my goal is just to, I mean, this kind of goes without saying, damage it, and then try to catch it, so yeah. That is Shadow Force, I believe, is the name of that move. We'll find out in a second here. Two-turn ghost move, similar to Fly. If this was Gen 1, it would have now made itself invulnerable, because if you get paralyzed in the middle of an attack like that, like if you use Dig or Fly and then get paralyzed, you just become stuck in that state and can't get hit. It's kind of excellent. It occurs to me I probably should not have actually done anything there and kept Becky as a backup to switch to for future Shadow Forces, but I am not a smart person, so I didn't. Let's just try to get in some hits. I have a few Dusk Balls. I do have the Master Ball, but I don't want to use it on this thing. I don't think I'm going to use the Master Ball at all. In all honesty, I usually don't, but I might for one of the events or something, because I am going to be going after all the event legendaries in the post-game, assuming I can find codes that can spawn them, which I assume I can. The one good thing about this fight is that it doesn't have a recovery move. There's other legendaries that do, that are a pain in the ass to try and catch because of that. Let's see. Immune to fighting. Immune to ground because it has levitate, I think. I assume it does. I actually don't remember for sure. Poison is not very effective against ghosts. I guess we're using Rock Slide. Dragon Ghost is an interesting typing. It's just basically the two types that were very rare in Gen 1 and have gotten more attention as of late, but I think I mentioned before, Giratina is probably my favorite out of the box legendaries from this generation. Well, actually, no, there is no probably about it. It is my favorite. It's also the only legendary that I've really ever used since Gen 2, aside from the black randomized thing that I talked about in a previous video, because I did use it in the Nuzlocke. Well, I used Yuxi in that also, but yeah. Alright, so let's see if we can catch this thing. Dusk Balls, I believe, are a times 3.5, and the Distortion World is always considered nighttime, so it will be getting the boost from that. Got Paralysis, got low health. This thing still has a catch rate of 3, though, so I'm not expecting a miracle to happen. I'm trying to remember if you can actually throw a ball when it's disappeared through Shadow Force. I want to say it'll, like, prevent you from doing that, but we will probably be running into that in a minute, so we'll know when that happens. During the second attempt at this, I'm going to start using Speed Up. I figure I'll let the music play, though. Yeah. Alright, I will take a turn to heal, then. I think this music comes back in the Giratina fight that's in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because they did reuse most of the legendary themes for those. It's been a while since I caught all the legendaries in that game, though, so I don't exactly remember. Speaking of Omega Ruby, that's what I'm going to be talking about later in this video. I didn't want to do it right now, though. Yep, there we go. As long as I can keep healing while it's disappeared, this might not be so horrible. It's still a crapshoot if I'm actually going to catch it, though. I'm trying to remember the last time I actually... Never mind, I'm going to interrupt myself in that sentence. I was going to say, I'm trying to remember the last time I actually caught a legendary without forcing myself to use like Premier Balls or whatever. And the answer to that question is red on Virtual Console, because I've already caught Articuno and Zapdos in that, but and I used like Ultra Balls on them or whatever. But aside from that, yeah, I am so used to going into these things with like such a slim chance of catching them that I never remember what the actual odds are. I remember in Omega Ruby when I went after all the legendaries in that one, I was able to give myself the like catching power, like catching boost, O power, whatever the hell it is. And that made it quite a bit better, especially for the nightmare that is the Rayquaza followed by Deoxys gauntlet. Most people will just recommend like fainting it and coming back to it later, but I didn't want to do that. Come on. Nope. It's been a while since I've mentioned this little tidbit, so a reminder for those who know about it and info for those who don't. Whenever you throw a Pokeball, the game generates 4 random numbers, and each of those numbers have to be lower than the target number to catch the Pokemon. The target number is, like, decided on catch rate, HP remaining, status, that kind of crap. And so if you, get it to break out with no shakes at all, that means that none of the numbers were below it. 1 shake means one of them was below, etc. And so you can use that as a pretty good way to judge how close you are to getting it. Like, it still is completely up to luck. You could get no shakes, like, 30 times in a row and then catch it on your next attempt, but, it kind of gives you an idea. And so far, this has not been, showing me that I'm having the greatest luck with this, because I don't think I've gotten it to shake more than once yet. I think they changed the catch formula in the newer games. I don't remember if it was Gen 5 or 6 where they like got rid of... I think it was Gen 5. They got rid of the ability for it to break out on 2 shakes. 2 or 3. It's like it would either... It's like I think what would happen is like it could break out on the 2nd, but it could never break out on the 3rd. It was really weird. And then it also introduced the critical capture, which is just... People think that it's a guaranteed catch, but it isn't. It basically just makes it so the game only checks 1 number instead of 4. So it gives you a much better chance, but it's not guaranteed. And the odds of that happening increase the more Pokemon you have caught. This game does not have that, though. This one is still throw a ball and pray. And it did not go so well, so let me do a sped-up attempt at this. And if I don't catch it in, like, the first couple balls, then I'll probably just cut, because I don't feel like doing this for forever, and I'm sure you don't want to watch it for forever. Damage in. There we go. I'm not sure how much of the RNG is going to be... Okay! I was going to say, I'm not sure how much of the RNG is still left over from last time, because all I did was load the state. I didn't, like, actually reset the game. But alright, first ball. There you go. I usually do not nickname legendaries, so I will not. And we've already seen this cutscene a couple times. Slightly different text, but yeah. What wants you to protect the world? Maybe the fact that, like, literally everybody would die? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. Go away. So yeah, we've already heard all this. So let's head through the portal. And we end up at Send-Off Spring for some reason. This is a kind of weird area. You'll see where it connects to in a second. But I don't think this area actually exists until you get here through the portal. Like, there's no entrance to it at all. And it was in Diamond and Pearl, it's just it was post-game only. But anyway, that's above me, okay. So what do you want me to do? Talk to Rowan? Yeah. I don't think there's anything terribly interesting in the grass here, just like Golduck, Bee-Barrel, that kind of crap. I guess some Gravelers. Could go down. It looks like I probably have to. Oh boy, this late into the game and we're still encountering Chingling. As a constant reminder of team members that I have no longer decided to use. Okay, I get it. Okay, I get... Okay. Something different at least. Alright, but yeah. I'll talk more about what this place was in Diamond and Pearl. Oh, hi, Dusclops. I didn't know you were here. I'm actually surprised that you aren't nighttime only. Alright. But, there's a post-game area that I'll be... Well, I guess, yeah, I'm actually going to be coming back to this exact place in the post-game, and it'll have, like, something different in it. So here's the spring path, featuring some trees. And that's it. And now we're here. So yeah, this opening was not there before. I guess, the creation of that portal also destroyed quite a few trees in its path, for whatever reason. So, anyways, let's, go and grab our flying banana dinosaur so that we can go talk to Professor Rowan for whatever reason. And then we can move on with our lives, if the game would let me. So I guess since we're going to be just kind of bumbling around here for a minute, I will start going into the Omega Ruby team. This one I actually had somewhat prepared beforehand, in the sense that, like, I had some of the Pokemon already set up for it. Because I mentioned in the Y playthrough that I had caught a couple shinies, a Roselia from a Horde encounter. I'll let you stay down there because you're cool. Also, you'll notice that it looks different now, because this is the altered form instead of the origin form. That is a weird thing that, again, I'll explain later when I'm able to get the item for it, but whatever. But yeah, I had caught a Roselia in a Horde battle and a Snorunt in the Friend Safari, and I did want to use both of those in my next playthrough, because they're both Hoenn Pokemon, and I usually like to do a team of, like, native stuff. So I had those two. I also bred a Speed Boost Torchic from the original event one. So I went in with Torchic as one of my starters, and I picked Mudkip as the other starter, and I used both of them in the team. Let's see what they have to say. So long in my 60 years of living. That doesn't really sound like a natural sentence, but okay. Did you actually try to help? I have a feeling you didn't. Like, are you saying this as if this wasn't already the plan? Okay. I like how the game doesn't make you talk to your mom. It's like, you know, you just came back from some weird alternate dimension where you could have died. And who do you need to talk to? Just the professor. Screw your family. Yep, doesn't give a single shit. Anyway, going back to what the team was, I had Swampert and Blaziken, both with the Mega Stones. They were named Bubble Gloop and a Drumstick. I had the shiny Metagross from the event. Didn't give that one a nickname because I couldn't. If I could have, I would have named it Quadraxis. Mega Sableye was nicknamed Hopkins. I was going to call it El Chupa Libre, but the game did not want me to do that for some reason. I guess because Chupa is like a swear in Spanish or something. I don't really know. So I called it Hopkins because it's based off like the Hopkinsville monster or something like that. The Rosalia, or Roseraid rather, I named it Rosalina. Come on, game, I just want to check my level balance. Okay, whatever. Mega Mawile named Scylla after the Greek mythological thing. Let's see. Probopass, I named a Doo-Wop after the minigame from Rhythm Heaven. Zangoose was Zanzibar. I was going to call it Groose, but I ended up getting a female one, so I picked just kind of a neutral name. Claydol was Cosmic Owl from Adventure Time. Armaldo was Rock Lobster. Wailord was Blubbo from Homestar. And then the shiny Frostlass was just Elsa, which I regret naming it that because Frozen is now, like, everywhere and people hate it for being too popular, but at the time I chose that nickname, it was, like, not quite as overblown, and I had just seen the movie, so I'm like, alright, whatever. But that was my team of 12. There were 5 Megas in there, I think. Yeah, Swampert, Blaziken, Metagross, Sableye, Mawile, so I had not used any Megas in my Y playthrough, so this was kind of a nice change. Also, I am going completely the wrong way. But, I don't know. Fairly normal playthrough. I was not the biggest fan of those remakes. I feel like they could have added quite a bit more content, and they were kind of lacking, but, I mean, they were okay. I just was kind of disappointed by them. And anyway, this route, I don't plan on fighting all the trainers yet. I'm actually going to be saving the experience for a bit, because there's possibilities of new team members coming up. I did say members with an S, but I'm thinking only one of them, and I'll explain that as soon as the game gives me the segue to do so, which there it is. So, since Electabuzz is on this route, that means I can breed an Elekid, which is pretty much outright better than Pichu. Here's the thing, though. I don't really want to use an Elekid, and I don't really have much of a reason for this other than just personal preference. The thing is, Elekid and Magby are pretty similar to each other, like their counterparts. They have, I could be talking out of my ass here and just be completely wrong, but I think they have pretty similar stats and, like, move pool, other than the stab moves. Like, obviously, this one gets electric moves, Magby gets fire moves. But they're pretty similar, and I don't really feel the need to have both. Like, I don't know. People are probably going to disagree with this. I had no plans to use an Elekid in this playthrough, and nothing has really changed my mind. Mantike is coming up soon, though, and I do want to give that one a try. And so, as I've mentioned before, since most of my decisions in this are kind of just coming down to, like, what I feel, like, basically just what I feel like doing and not necessarily what is the logically best choice, I do still want to keep Carolina around just for the sake of the original run and the fact that I like Cleffa in general. Which means that if I'm going to be dropping somebody, Stacy is probably going to be the one to go, just because she's kind of been dying to, like, the typical phrase is dying to a stiff breeze, or, like, has the defense of a wet tissue. I'd like to come up with something more creative. So let's just say... the sound of a dog barking. I don't know. I have no idea where I'm going with this statement. But, that does mean that the effort that I put into getting the Light Ball and breeding on Volt Tackle and everything was a waste, but I'm okay with that. It's not a huge deal. The main problem, of course, is just the fact that I will now be going without a strong electric stab, which Elekid could pick up, but I'm not going to be using Elekid. Luckily for me, I already have an electric move on my team. I feel like that's good enough. There's no water type or flying type Elite Four member. Like, there's going to be a few Pokemon with that as a dual type, but I think I'll manage. It's... The biggest thing I'm losing out of this is Thunder Wave, honestly, and I think there is a Thunder Wave TM, right? I have to check if somebody can learn that. Or if there even is one, because if there is, I don't seem to have it. I'll have to look that up later. Because Thunder Wave is pretty useful. That's, honestly, that's the biggest thing I'm going to be losing out of this, and, I don't know. It's not 100% decided yet. That's just what I'm leaning towards at the moment. And I apparently cannot dodge this trainer. I would like Caroline to get some frickin' experience, so let me use one of my 47 revives. And then probably get one shot by whatever his first Pokemon is. Sends out Giratina. Well, here's one you probably haven't seen before. Speaking of things I could use electric moves against, now Shadow Ball will probably be fine. I don't know why I didn't see that coming, honestly. I think in my mind I was thinking Fairy type. Or, no, it was like, I was using Shadow Ball, which is a ghost move, so I was thinking that for some reason I was immune. I don't know, was not exactly thinking clearly there, but whatever. Not really giving myself the, best case here for holding on to Pokemon that a lot of people seem to think I should probably be dropping. Just freaking kill the Gastrodon already, come on. Or not. Here, poke it. But yeah, I'm going to be going back to do a proper run of that area and beat all the trainers, get the items and all that crap in a minute. First, I wanted to come to Sunny Shore. And here's some asshole with a Ronald McDonald afro. Yeah, my babies are certainly showing some kind of aura. I don't know. My name's Flint looks at the camera for no reason. The stupid blackout that lasted, what, like 5 months at this point? Actually, I think it is. I think I started this LP in January. And it's currently May, so I guess 4 months. But yeah, Sunny Shore City, it's a city. It has weird solar power roads, which are kind of unnecessary. There's a couple things of note in here. I guess I'll go ahead and do my tour in a second here after I heal up. But yeah, I've mentioned before plenty of times just the pacing of, like, you get done with this whole big plot event, catch the legendary, save the world, and then it's just electric gym. It's a little bit stupid. Is this where you buy the seals? No. Okay. Is this a... anything? Just people talking about the underground, I guess. Okay. I like this clubhouse of people that really like the underground. Also, I haven't looked at TV in a while. Is there going to be a shitty interview for me? Nope, fuck the GTS. No, no. Okay. No, the GTS isn't that bad. I had to use it for Vivillon and quite a few things in my Y playthrough, but... Oh, fuck off. Was that the EV ribbon? Okay, yeah, here's where you buy the seals. I love how you get these at the very end of the game. It's so stupid. Like, I don't understand why they did that. Like, let's introduce this feature that doesn't really do a whole lot, but is kind of aesthetically cool, and then make it completely unobtainable until the very end of the game. Wait, what? Why? Okay. Where's Munchlax's rock? It's over here, I think. Nope, it was not. I think this person likes to see certain natures or something. Okay. Don't tell me a story yet. You need to wait a day first. Invincible in every way, unless somebody comes in with a ground type. Which, actually, I'll get to that later, because, in Diamond and Pearl, he actually had... There's the Munchlax rock. In Diamond and Pearl, he actually had Pokemon that weren't electric types, and, had somewhat decent coverage. I don't believe that's the case in this game, because they expanded the Sinnoh Dex, so he was able to use a couple extra things. Alright, so I have to come back with Rock Climb, blah blah blah. What have I not checked yet? I feel like I've been in most places. Here's a mart. It has things that marts have. I don't really need to buy anything. Oh, gotta buy that steel mail. I think I kind of say that every single time I find mail. I'm like, oh, look, it's mail. Everybody loves mail. But it is stupid enough to point out every time. And here's a character who's clearly not significant in any way. Okay. So I guess I'm getting, Becky back out here. Because I need to do a bit of rock climbing and a bit of surfing. And here's the thing with Mantike. Obviously, I still haven't 100% decided where it's going on the team yet. I have my mind pretty much set up, but I will listen to suggestions, I suppose. In terms of actually just using one, you can find them in the wild, right after, like, right on that route. Here, come on, what do you give me? Oh yeah, I forgot that. What do you want? Oh, hey, I needed Sirius. I have like 5 of those. Okay. Yeah, I don't really care. I could go back and get more of those, and I'm sure there's a bunch more in Jubilife, but not super important. Anyway, what I was starting to say is, you can find Mantike in the wild. I would just catch one and use it just fresh out of the ocean, pretty much, but, if I do that, I will be missing out on exactly one egg move that is actually worth anything, and that is Signal Beam. For God's sake. I am, like, seriously not showing a good impression here. Come on. And then my team gets swept by a Tentacruel. Let's hopefully not let that happen. But yeah, I looked over Mantike's move pool. It gets the usual kind of junk you'd expect, like the progression of water moves. It gets like Water Gun, Water Pulse, eventually gets Hydro Pump in the high levels. It gets like Bounce, which is a somewhat interesting move, but it's a physical attack, and it has really, really bad attack stat. So we're not going to go with Bounce. Same with like Aerial Ace or whatever other move it got, I forget. It might just be a Wing Attack. Here we go. But yeah, it can learn, obviously, water moves. It can get Ice Beam, which is good, and it can get Signal Beam through breeding, which I do kind of want to go for. So we're going to be catching a couple here. Might as well use a Net Ball, honestly. Not like I'm going to use it any other time. Nope. Okay, I don't know what this thing's catch rate is, but it's probably not good. And I got rid of my Thunder Wave user, so let's use Feint Attack or something. Nope. Well, let's see, what are my options here? Oh yeah. If I can actually get an attack in, which... No, I was not able to. Now that the RNG has changed, can I use the net ball? No, I can't. Having a good time. Jesus. The best thing is I have to catch 2 of these things. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna cut until this thing's caught, because screw this. Well, that sure took a while. Alright. But yeah, I have to... Well, let me think. Yeah, I should probably catch another one. My options for getting Signal Beam are to catch another Mantike, like a male one, evolve it, and then use a Heart Scale. Or I could catch a male Remorid, but I don't really feel like wasting a Heart Scale either, so let's just frickin' find a Remorid somewhere. Let me see where I can find it. Pretty much all over the place. Okay. I could probably just fish here then. Do I have the good rod on me? I don't know if I do or not. But, well, I know I can't deposit. I'm thinking again in Gen 1 terms, like, the item management in that game is freaking awful, so I'm sure that I have the good rod as long as I picked it up somewhere. Anyway, the only reason I'm not just kind of ending the episode here is because I remembered a fairly major thing that somehow until just now I completely forgot to mention, and that is the story of Mew. Because if you look at my Twitter at all, you would have noticed a few posts from Friday that we kind of found a cat. It's kind of a weird story, but I'll go ahead and just explain it. It's not a very long story, it's just a weird one. We went out to Popeye's Chicken to have dinner, and after finishing eating, there was this guy going around the restaurant basically asking, like, hey, are you the owner of this truck outside? I forget what type of car it was. And we weren't, but I guess he eventually found the guy who was. We go to leave and find that there is... It sounded to me like there was a cat under the car, was what they were saying, but that was not actually the case. The cat was basically, like, all up inside the car, to use a shitty term. Like, she was kind of, like, standing up on the, I guess, what do you call it, like, the axle? Like, up in the wheels, kind of almost into the engine. And so, the guy who owned the truck comes out and is not wanting to have any of this shit, so he honks the horn to try and scare the cat away. It doesn't work, and then starts poking a wire down inside the engine to poke it out, which also doesn't work. So I got down on the ground and managed to grab her out of there. She's all covered in oil and frickin' terrified, and not exactly the happiest cat I've ever seen, which makes sense. But, so I'm like, alright, I guess we just kind of have a cat now, because the other guy took off and he didn't want... Like, it wasn't his cat, he didn't have to keep it. It wasn't... I'm not saying, like, he should have, but he kind of took off and we're just left with this cat here. I'm like, okay. I don't mind this. I wouldn't mind having a cat, but it's wild and doesn't have any shots, and we don't know if there's anything wrong with it, so... kept it for the night, put it in the bathroom to basically make sure it didn't escape. I'm saying it, because at the time we didn't know its gender, but it's a girl. took it to the vet, got her checked out a little bit. Not in horrible shape, has like some fleas and had like a few problems going to the bathroom and stuff like that, but nothing major. But basically, we weren't really prepared to keep an animal suddenly, and because of this, just kind of made the decision that we probably shouldn't keep this cat and need to find a home for it. So the problem with that is most shelters will basically euthanize the animals if they aren't adopted after a certain period of time, so we don't want to take her to one of those. They probably wouldn't do that to a kitten, because kittens will get adopted quickly, but the main concern was just, like, if we take this cat there, will they kill a different animal to make room, because we don't want that to happen either. So looking up no-kill shelters, and all of them are kind of in the, like... They have the whole thing going on where it's like you can't find out if they have any vacancies unless you send an email and then wait 2 days to get a response, which is freaking stupid. But eventually found some kind of like... I'm trying to think how to word this, because I wasn't the one taking care of it. But Berna found a place to, like, I guess, get like a foster home, and we're still waiting to see what's going to happen with that. It's either going to be later today or probably tomorrow. But yeah, I got some pictures. Sure they'll be posted like on the black space in the video or something. But cute little kitten. Not going to keep it, unfortunately, but of course, the problem with finding an animal is, like, you want to give it a name, and then as soon as you give it a name, you become attached and don't want to give it up. But the name that we decided on was Mew, because it was found under a truck. And that was the entire story, basically. So, you had no reason to really watch any of the previous section that I just went through, but I made you do it anyway, because I am a jackass, and I wanted to tell the story, so... That's pretty much it. I'm just getting my team kind of organized here for what needs to be happening soon. I'll keep them both around, actually. Basically, I need to level up this Remoraid to level 30 to learn Signal Beam. Does it already have Ice Beam? I think it has, like, Aurora. Yeah. I don't think Aurora Beam can be bred down. But I'll get Signal Beam, breed these two, hatch a few eggs, and next time we'll be starting out with a Mantike, which I'll be running through the trainers on that last route. And that's pretty much it, so... I'm not going to put up a straw poll, because doing so indicates that I'll probably actually look at the results of that and follow them, which I'm not necessarily going to do here. But I will listen to input on what people say should be done about the team. I really don't want to get rid of Stacy, but she is the weak link, I feel, other than Caroline, which I'm going to be considering immune for the moment. Let's just say this. If I decide to keep Caroline and have an absolutely horrible time later on in the game, like either in Victory Road or whatever, and determine that she needs to go, it might happen at that point. But at least for this next gym, and for as long as I can make it happen, I'm going to try to keep her on the team. But otherwise, these four up here, plus Pompeii, are the ones on the chopping block. But yeah, see you next time for Mantike stuff.
Oh yes, look at that little fish. Look at that little fish. She's like entirely uninterested in the ball right now. Oh, If it fits, I sit.